Well, I think we shall go ahead and get rolling. I appreciate everybody coming close. We normally are out there in the council chambers and a lot more space to work with. But we do have a half a dozen topics to cover today. I want to start with Jeff LeBlanc, president of the LRITA organization, who's going to talk about their upcoming conference, and the speaker, which is, I think, a very timely topic. Come on, Jeff.
Morning, everybody. I'm Jeff LeBlanc. I'm the president of the Lima Regional Information Technology Alliance, and I'm also vice president of information technology at the University of Northwestern Ohio. And we use LRITA for short. Us technology folks like our acronyms. We're a spin-off of an economic development project from several years ago through Mayor Berger. In fact, the mayor is still one of our members and board member emeritus, and we've been around since 2008. And we share ideas with the information technology professionals in the region, so we're reaching out probably to a 9-county region. I'm here to invite everybody to our technology event. IT professionals and technology users alike. We'll be holding our event on April 18th at the Veterans Memorial Civic and Convention Center. And it's going to be catered by the old barn out back, so registration includes both breakfast and a hot lunch and drinks and snacks and those sorts of things throughout the day. Very timely presentation. This year we have our keynote speaker, and the keynote address is the first time this year. This is new for us. Our speaker is Matthew Haschak, and he's the Director of IT Security and Infrastructure at Bowling Green State University. And he's going to be doing a presentation on preparing your organization for the impacts of cyber warfare. A very timely topic. Several things in the news over the past couple months that have been very intriguing. Along with that, we have many local IT vendors that will be on hand to talk about and answer questions on technology. In fact, we have 27 as of this morning registered. We have 25 informative sessions throughout the day across 5 tracks on using technology, and then they're not all highly technical, but many of them are. So if you're just a user of technology, you may find one of the tracks very interesting because we're talking about technology in business. And the sessions include items as cloud computing, Windows 8, Windows Server 2012, Office 365, which is a new product for especially small businesses would probably find that very useful. Storage solutions, digital forensics, managed print, automating the accounts payable process, digital document management, and desktop and server virtualization, among many other topics. Like I said, we have about 25 slated for the day. Also new this year is a hands-on workshop that's sponsored by Microsoft. They're one of our platinum sponsors. That'll bring your own laptop to the conference, which is a new addition, like I said, this year, so people can do some hands-on training with Microsoft products. We have all the information available on our website. It's www.lrita.org. And you can also register there if you have an interest in coming today. Thank you.
And it's very modestly priced. What is
Yes. For members, LRITA members, it's $10 for the day. And non-members is $20 for the day. Those are early bird prices till April 5th. And that's $10 savings. Thank you.
And it covers everything, as you said.
It's comprehensive, all-day access pass.
Very good.
Thank you.
Jeff. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Staying on the LRITA technology theme, we have representatives here from the Ohio Energy and Advanced Manufacturing Center. And Judy Cowan is the president, and Eric Baumgardner is the chairman of the board. So both of you, if you'd come up and talk about a recent trip. Sure. What's going to be happening with the OEAMC.
Thanks, Mayor. Again, my name is Eric Baumgardner. I'm the chair of the board of directors of the Ohio Energy and Advanced Manufacturing Center. My day job, I'm the dean of the College of Engineering at Ohio Northern University. And Judy, as David said, is our president of our organization. Just a little bit, maybe to bring you back up to speed about the organization. We've been in existence since 2007, a nonprofit organization that's a partnership between higher education, industry, and the government. So it's a public-private partnership to advance our capabilities in advanced manufacturing in the energy sector. Other members of the board that join me on the board include Steve Hakovich, who's the R&D director at American Trim here in Lima. Pat Conrath is a new member of the board from Husky Energy. Keith Dieters, plant manager, General Dynamics, Land Systems Division, as well as Adrian Price, who's the vice president for global manufacturing at Ford and the former plant manager at the Ford Lima plant. As an organization, we are breaking ground this spring on a new technology center here in Lima that's at the Job Ready site that the city has put together. And that technology center will be a place for companies to come together and interface and interact in developing new technology for advanced manufacturing and energy. As an organization, we've been looking for funding opportunities to help drive those innovations in the advanced manufacturing energy. Our technology center we're getting funding from both the federal government, from the Economic Development Agency, as well as the state of Ohio through a loan program. And those funding opportunities have come together to allow us to build this center. But we're always looking for other opportunities to provide resources to our partner organizations to bring additional monies to bear to drive technology forward. So we've been making a number of trips to Washington, D.C. in late 2012 and early 2013, meeting with Department of Energy, Department of Defense, National Science Foundation, and other federal agencies that have an interest in advanced manufacturing. And there's been a lot going on at the federal level in advanced manufacturing. There's a big initiative underway to drive the economy in the United States through advanced manufacturing. So the President has come out with a national network for manufacturing innovation and other initiatives to try to drive the economy forward. And I think the economics say that a lot of our resurgence out of the recession has been because of manufacturing capabilities. So we've been to DC a couple times to sort of ferret out some funding opportunities, met with some folks, and ultimately that drove us down to a visit last week at Oak Ridge National Labs in Tennessee, outside of Knoxville, where there they have a great group of individuals who are working in advanced manufacturing and under the umbrella of what's called the Manufacturing Demonstration Facility. So we got a chance, the mayor, myself, Judy, Steve Hakovich from American Trim, and Mike Foose, who works out at the tank plant at General Dynamics, also went along with us. And they were gracious in terms of providing time to us to get a chance to get to know them. We saw lots of facilities. We saw carbon fiber manufacturing facilities, materials processing facilities, advanced carbon fiber composite materials facilities, and then their manufacturing demonstration facility. And so they just took us all around their facilities and met with a number of individuals who work on the lab there, who are really passionate about advanced manufacturing. And they kept saying it all throughout our visit is that they really want to help industry. They are there to help bring technology that they developed at Oak Ridge to industry, or help industries that need to get over a particular technical hurdle. They can utilize their staff and their capabilities to help manufacturing companies be successful. So we had a great visit, but the best part of the visit was towards the tail end, where we got to share with them some of the things that are going on here in Lima. And they were very excited. Their eyes sort of got wider, their jaws sort of dropped in terms of what we're doing here in Lima. And we're looking to organize a visit with staff members from Oak Ridge to come to Lima and tour our facilities and see the great work that's going on within the Lima community around the concept of advanced manufacturing. We're starting to put that together. We hope that they'll be here in the May timeframe and see, again, the great things that are going on here. And for us as an organization, for the OEAMC, we see this as a potential partnership. Again, they work with companies in many different ways. Sometimes they work with companies to, again, bring their technology out into the industry, helping industries get over a technical hurdle or some combination of those two. And we think the OEAMC is very well aligned with that mission here in Ohio to try to help our local manufacturers, regional manufacturers, statewide manufacturers become competitive in these two areas. Okay?
Very good.
I brought a little information about the center, but even though I run a technology center, I can't figure out how. Oh, there we go. If anyone has any questions about it, it's going to be located on South Main and West 4th Streets on the city's Job Ready site. We purchased half of the southern half of the Job Ready site, and the USA Synthetic Fuels Project would purchase the north half. So the whole city 14-acre Job Ready site has been sold, which was the intention of the Job Ready site program. So that's really good. So that program from the state, as well as the Third Frontier program, we've had a lot of successes with it. Those two programs have really brought us to where we are today on technology issues within the city. They've brought a lot of things to the city, and the mayor also serves on the board as an ex officio member. You really haven't lived until you've been in a van for 6 hours with all these guys. If you want to talk about that later, we can do that. But we really learned a lot. I brought along some handouts if anyone's interested, one about the organization and one that shows what our buildings kind of look like and some of the square footage and things like that. So, if anybody has any questions?
Okay. Thank you both.
Yep.
I might, for a minute, these are a couple of stories I've shared with the staff about the visit last week. There's a new technology around what's called additive manufacturing, where you literally build things up from almost molecule by molecule, much like with an inkjet printer, which is a two-dimensional product. You know, this comes off an inkjet printer, and it's got cartridges, which is just ink, and so it lays it down in width and length, and you get different colors based upon how the print cartridge works. Well, if you can think about that in 3 dimensions, and not just using ink, but plastics or metals or other kinds of materials, you can also lay that down, and you literally build 3-dimensional products. And to give you just a sense of the precision of these manufacturing techniques, I happened to step up at one point, and a young engineer was there, and he picked up an envelope that had, it was a plastic envelope, see-through, and it had this little blue thread in it. And then inside it as well was a postage stamp sized image of a yellow eagle, like on a presidential seal. So its wings were up, and you got to see the claws and lots of detail. So what he told me at that point was that if you took that blue thread that was laying there and you cut it, and you could see the end of it, at every point along the thread, wherever you cut it, and you looked at it in a microscope, you'd see that yellow eagle. I mean, that's an incredible way of building something. Literally, it's laid down with a precision that you just almost can't imagine. It's that technology that we're talking with Oak Ridge about, in terms of working with us to solve a variety of manufacturing needs in our region. So we're hopeful, and it was literally was, as Eric said, toward the end of the meeting, and their reaction to what's happening here was to ask if they could come visit. We didn't have to ask them. The head of the lab said, "Can we come to Lima?" And I mean, it really was a reception and a reaction that all of us felt really excited about, because we think, if we can develop a practical partnership with the Oak Ridge Lab, we have access to technology, we also have access to resources, and we think we can then go to work on solving technology issues with local manufacturers in a way that creates jobs and opportunities. So it's a great visit, and looking forward to now having them here. Howard Elstro is here to talk about legislation we'll be seeking from council on Monday regarding the Bellefontaine grade separation, and this is directly a result of the recent state of the state events that took place here in Lima.
Thank you, Mayor. On council's agenda this week will be legislation that we are requesting, which will allow us to apply for TRAC funds through the state of Ohio. TRAC stands for Transportation Advisory Committee. They are the body that receives applications for large infrastructure projects, and by their definition of large, more than $12 million. We are submitting the I&O grade separation, or the east side grade separation, for consideration before the TRAC for this funding round. Many of you are familiar that we've been pursuing a grade separation on the east side because as trains are present on the I&O rail, it stops everything. It stops travel for recreation, it stops travel for commerce, it stops emergency transportation, people trying to get to physicians, to medical services at Lima Memorial Hospital. And it's quite a problem for our community. I believe everybody also knows that we've been pursuing this for a good long time, though people probably don't recall that we've been on this quest for over 12 years. This will actually be our third request to the TRAC. However, with the latest visit, that was a remnant of the State of the State address, we had an opportunity to talk with Director Jerry Ray, the Director of Transportation for the state of Ohio, and he and his assistant gave us some very good, what we think are very good recommendations how to repackage this project and submit it. The total cost of the project is $17 million. It was proposed, it was instigated, or at least the point where we have got to now, which is preliminary engineering, was assisted by a federal earmark that we received of about $2.3 million through efforts of Congressman Oxley. We are in what we call the preliminary engineering phase, and later this year we'll be into the detailed design of the project. The portion that we will be requesting from TRAC is that amount sufficient to acquire right-of-way for the project, and the right-of-way cost will be around someplace around $3 million. Construction window for this will be actually 2017 to 2018, so we're still a few years out. Part of this is the expanse, or the long time that it takes to do a project of this size, is dictated by the federal highway process, planning process that we must follow, and we have been doing that diligently. The other part of the equation is it's very tough to find funds of this size for a project of this nature. So we are going to be persistent and deliberate in our efforts to continue to plan, continue to design, continue to push this project towards actual construction. There will be an opportunity for the public to have a look at the plans that have been put together to date. There will be a public meeting scheduled for May 8th of this year. That's coincidentally somebody's birthday, but not mine. The tentative place for this public hearing is Lima Senior High School. We will actually firm up the location and the time for that public hearing. At that public hearing, people will be able to view the preferred alternative, which will be Elm Street in an underpass configuration rather than an overpass configuration. So we're looking forward to a positive reply from council allowing us to apply for the track, and we will get our application in April, and I'm sure that the track process will proceed as has in the past, which means we will travel to Columbus and make a presentation and be hopeful for this next increment of funding for this project. Thank you.
I think a lot of this depends upon whether the state budget solves the highway budgetary concerns. As you may recall, there's the bill that's pending for the mortgaging of the Ohio Turnpike. That in turn would create a pool of resources that potentially would become funding for this kind of a project. So if that happens, there's more opportunity. If it doesn't happen, I would say there's no opportunity. It also, depending upon whether the federal government does something, which is also at this point unlikely, if the federal government would step up and provide a major infrastructure bill, then perhaps we will be ready whenever they roll that out. But again, I think it's unlikely that there's going to be that as a result of the current political standoff. But we're going to keep working it because it's an important project, and I think there are elements of it as we unveil the plans in May where the public will appreciate the design and the overall consideration that will take place. At this point, I'd like to introduce Nell Lester from the LACNIP organization, along with Chief Martin and Sheriff Crish, for a discussion of their upcoming event.
Good morning. Thank you for having us, Mayor. I'd like to invite you all out coming up this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. about our second annual, this is our second year of having Coffee with the Cop. I would like to let Chief tell you about the interaction that they feel when they go, or Sheriff Crish talk about when they, the people come in and their interaction with the community as they come in to ask questions about things going on in the community with the police officers and the sheriff department. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to them.
Well, I would just like to say that we are again very appreciative of the fact that Lima Allen County Neighborhoods in Partnership, along with the local McDonald's, have partnered together with us to be able to, for their sponsorship of the Coffee with the Cop events. And as Nell said, this Saturday from 10 to noon at the Market Street McDonald's, 525 West Market Street, is where the first event will be held for 2013. Part of what McDonald's provides for the event is they will be providing free coffee for anybody that wants to stop in. I don't think having to talk to that sheriff is too bad if you get the free coffee, is it? But the sheriff and I will both be there. And yes, we want to encourage people to come out with their concerns, their questions, anything that is on their mind regarding police services that they're receiving in this area, or maybe police services they feel they should be receiving that they're not. So we want people to come out and talk with us about that. And again, we're just very appreciative that both LACNIP and McDonald's are willing to take that on yet again this year.
Just real quick, I kind of sound like a broken record a lot of times when I talk about the cooperation among the law enforcement. I think that's important, and I think it even extends a little bit farther than just law enforcement. I think if you see the city, the county, and just different agencies working together, that's how we're successful. And this is just another way to be successful, to involve the people in our community, to come out and talk to law enforcement, ask questions, whatever that may be. There's a lot of times people say that they may know the chief or myself by seeing us on TV or hearing us on the radio, but never have that opportunity to come and actually talk to us. So this gives the people in the community to come out and talk, and again, it's just another way of working together just to make our community as safe as what we can make it, and the best community in the state. Thank you. Happy birthday.
I think we're all talkers, so I think everybody got their talk in.
I'll have to figure out a way to embarrass the sheriff. That's all. He's younger than me.
I'll help you.
You are younger than me, right?
Oh, yes.
No hesitation. May 8th, you'll be a year older.
You know, you should never ask a question if you don't know the answer. And I really didn't know the answer. There's a possibility he was older. Not much. All right. Brett Roehm is here from the Parks Department with spring lineup of activities.
Thank you, Mayor. Just here today to remind citizens that we have started our youth baseball and softball registration. That's for 3rd through 6th grade students, and the cost is $30. The deadline to be registered is the 28th of March. Also, our adult softball program will have a managers meeting April the 1st. That season will begin shortly after, or the middle of May, after Mother's Day. $425 per team. The big one is seasonal employment. We're looking for playground staff, we're looking for schoonover pool staff, we're looking for members of our ball diamond crew, and we're also looking for members of our maintenance staff. We're asking that people get their applications in no later than April the 5th. That way we have pretty much the month of April to get our interviews completed, and also do the hiring in May and get those people on board when we need them most. We have done some interviews already with kids being home from college, so please, if you're interested in a job, get your application in as soon as possible. And that's all I have, so I appreciate the time to speak.
And at least the seasonal hires can make application online.
They can get the application online at the city's website, and they can submit it exactly, right offline. They don't have to print it out or anything like that. They can submit it right online. That comes into our office and Human Resources through an email. So that's a new, I guess, talking of technology, that's a new thing that we put on this year. And registration forms for both the softball and the adult softball and the youth sports is also online, so they can get those now. They can't submit those online; those have to be brought into our office, but they can get the applications and submit them online.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Brett.
Sure.
Our Career Services Department at the university would probably love to, I don't know if you send information like that out to the colleges.
We can. I can send something out there.
Because I know that some of our students are looking for some.
Okay.
And actually, by having those apps online, we are, because we know a lot of our recreation leaders apply. They're away at school.
Right.
I mean, we're talking college kids here,
Right,
who really bring us a lot of talent and energy for the summer. So having it online is a great convenience for being able to get their apps, and that certainly would apply to.
Who do I need to contact out there in your services?
Nicole Niemeyer in
Okay.
Career Services.
Okay.
Now, I saved the best till last. The other night at our city focus meeting with the Westgate Neighborhood Association, I introduced him as the cute Mike Caprella. I told a fib, I know, but Mike, why don't you step up? Last week, Mike, along with the engineers for the Williams Reservoir project, received an award from the statewide Association of Engineering companies, and Mike did a huge job on this project with all that was entailed from beginning to end, from the design, the acquisition of property, the variety of considerations on wetlands and other kinds of regulatory matters, in which we built a pump station, 3 miles of pipeline from the Auglaize River in to the new reservoir, and then the reservoir itself. And the overall management of that just was terrific. So we ended up with what was the largest capital project in the city's history, and it's now brought us an award. So, Michael, thank you for your work. Why don't you tell us about the award?
Since you saved me for last, I'm going to do that. That's right. So, last week at the annual meeting of the American Council of Engineering Companies, we received an honor award for the Williams Reservoir, along with our engineering firm, SNME. When we started the project, they were called BBC&M. They actually changed names in the middle. They merged with another firm. But we received the honor award for, and they cite the award for, value, achievement, ingenuity, in engineering projects. And I think the community understands the value of this reservoir. It's a nice shot of it. It makes it look smaller. This, the bottom is Ressler Reservoir, and this is the new, Williams Reservoir. And we know the value of adding 5 million gallons, 5 billion gallons of water to the community for economic development purposes and for the future. But as far as ingenuity, if you notice the reservoir, and you notice the wooded wetlands area, I mean, it was a task just getting the footprint of this reservoir. We worked longer on the environmental issues probably than we did building the reservoir, getting it ready. But it was a lot of work, with our consultants, and the proof is, I guess, is in the pudding, and we were really pleased, to receive the award. So, we were appreciative. Down to the meeting last week and brought it back, and I guess that's pretty much it. Let me just add a couple things about the reservoir while I'm up here. Due to some requests from the public and the amount of use we get around our reservoirs for recreational use, we have a lot of walkers. We've always had a lot of people that walk around the top of Bristol. It's 3.7 miles. The new Williams Reservoir is about the same distance around, it's a little over 3.7, but it's a lot more scenic because you walk around a lot of wooded areas, some of the wetlands. But if you're somebody, my age, you get tired if you walk that far. The chiefs, the sheriff, they can probably do that. Actually, I can do it, probably won't they? People have asked for some benches, some place they can walk, a mile or so and sit down. So we do have some benches ordered, and we're going to be placing them at 3 different strategic locations around the reservoir. So that'll make it a nice addition for people that like to go out and use it for recreational use. So, that's in the works.
You might comment about where they won't be, because we've got constraints on where they can.
Right. Yeah. At first, we were going to try to get them around Ressler Reservoir. It's just we're so tight at the top of that reservoir with it, with the equipment we need to get around for maintenance purposes and mowing purposes. We have some areas that we have designed in the Williams. They're kind of turnaround areas, so they're going to be back. They're going to be towards the water, which is a good thing, but they won't be right out in the middle of the walking path. So they'll be out of the way for runners and bikers and walkers, but they'll still be at a nice spot where actually it'll be pretty scenic up there, where they look. So
Where's the stairway to get up there?
there's
Which road?
there's a drive up over here,
Oh, over there, okay.
and there's steps, back in this corner here also. It's easy to get up. So, and there's parking lots. There's picnic tables. There's grills, back in this area, the parking lot. There's grills, back in this lot. So we built it with recreation in mind also. We also built it for the fishermen. We put, they call spawning shelves that come out. There's shallow areas with rock that the fish can spawn there, and we put some fishing shelves. We worked with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, the Fishery Department, to put some enhancements in there just to. Now, there's no fish in there yet other than just what we pumped in from the river, but hopefully it'll be stocked, this spring. Now, on a negative note, I'd like to add that at these 2 reservoirs, we get a lot of activity in the evenings, and this time of the year we get vandalism and damage. And we've been seeing it in the last couple of weeks, where people like to drive off the road, try to drive up the side,
They cause damage, they cause erosion problems for us, cost money to fix it, and they just tear it up. So we've actually, within the last week, in conjunction with the Sheriff's Department and our park rangers, there's going to be some increased patrolling out there. And if we catch who's doing it, they're going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent because they're causing damage and it's just not the right thing to do. So, a couple other real quick things. Coffee with a cop. Can I get coffee without talking to you guys?
Absolutely.
I'll be there for that. You know.
I'll take a picture.
Okay. We'll share. And one last thing, the blue string that you talked about with the eagle in there, could I get my picture put in there? We can share that all over. So.
I'll bet you we could do that.
Just check it. So.
Since you're so good
Be
looking.
careful with that.
That's right.
Careful what you ask for.
Michael's picture ends up in various places.
Now or that picture? Yeah. I want a newer one.
Well, thank you all. Great information today. Lots of events and lots going on. So we appreciate your coverage of this and thank you for your time.